Hello, how are you? Today is an energy update, and I'm going to share with you on geomagnetic storms and what are solar flares and CMEs, and how we are affected uh, by these energies that are coming in. Last weekend we had, I believe, 7 over 2 days that were class X solar flares and CMEs. And so I just want to share how that affects us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and in our environment. And you can see also how it's related to what's going on in the energy because we're having so many of these. And I'll give you resources also. So let's first start what is happening energetically. It's still, it's a building on what the energy reports have been before. I'm seeing and hearing from a lot of friends that, and myself and clients, that wherever our weak point is in our life, wherever that lesson is that we keep having to learn over and over and over again, you keep thinking, I did this, and then you're coming back to it, whether it's financial, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, whether it's in career, you know, loving yourself, not loving yourself, you know, showing all of it. Baseline is coming up. Are you honoring who you really are? Are you loving yourself deeply as the being that is you, the soul that you are, how you came in here? It's bringing, all of this is bringing us back to, it's time to love yourself. Wake up. You know, that's the big wake up, is like, you're not limited. You're not enough. You're not unlovable. You're not to sacrifice yourself. You're not to suffer. And so to see, it's coming up to see where you're still believing that. And particularly if you're pointing fingers at anybody or pointing fingers at situations, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. Look at you. How have you been helping to create whatever event? How are you creating the relationship that is in your life right now that is you know, disconcerting? You know, where are you playing small? Where are you not showing up? Where are you not saying what you really want to say? Where do you feel disempowered? Where are you believing you have to be a people pleaser? Where are you believing that you have to sell your soul in order to make money? Where are you believing that you are not abundant? And so all of that is coming up right now because, like in our world is the financial system, the education system, the government system, the relationship system, the broader relationships between nations and countries and politics, etc. All of us, you know, there's so much divide, and so much divide has been a product of our not feeling good about ourselves, not being enough, not looking beautiful, not being rich enough, not being smart enough, not having the perfect amount of money, not having the perfect job, not being happy all the time, not having ease and grace and doing what you want to be doing, not, you know, so it's like all those things are coming up. I don't need to go. You just look at yourself, and wherever you're having trouble, that is that is probably the most, what do I say? It's the place to go that will have the greatest healing, and it's a root healing. It will be a root healing from your lower chakras. And you don't have to know what that means. It's just start observing you, start observing what you think and believe about whatever is showing up. What are you believing about yourself in the situation? What are you believing about someone else or other people in the situation? What are you believing, and how are you contributing to the creation of that? And then how do you want to show up? How do you want to be in this position? And what is it that, and so whatever comes up with how you want to be, how you want to show up, what you want to create, then start taking actions to create that. And that could be forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for the other person. It could be doing the Ho'oponopono prayer. It could be, seeing where you have some prejudice. It could be seeing where telling yourself and giving yourself love and self-care. And that's the next thing I'm going to go into. So that's the big overview of really start observing. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you believing? These are not you. These are programs and conditions. So what are your programs, conditions through your traumas, through your challenges that you are currently having? And what's the biggest one? And start focusing on that. Observing what's happening, observing how you're reacting or acting, or how somebody else is, and what exactly is it that is being triggered in you, or what is coming up for you. And you'll start to see, no matter if somebody's triggering you, it's you though who is creating that feeling. They don't know what feeling they're going to create in you. So it's this, and so there's a reason that you have that feeling, and it might be they're triggering a certain feeling that goes back to when you're 3 years old and they were not involved in your life at that 3-year-old, unless it's your mother or your father or a sibling. But so it's just starting to observe and take that, and then also let the energy move through you. Let the energy that is happening, so you're observing it, you're not stopping it, you're not resisting it, you're not trying to get it out of here and fix you. I got to fix what's broken. How do I fix it? How do I not feel it this? Just know that these energies move, and so they will move through you easily, and then you can release them. You can say, is there something here I need to learn? So yes, if you're observing, and then you're starting to see the relationships of what is going on with that reaction, and then you oh, I'm thinking I'm not enough with this person, and so I go in with defenses to start. So I'm not even allowing myself for them to have any positive impact on me. I'm just, like a linebacker. I think that's a defensive, blocking anything that's coming my way from this person. So I'm, even though they might love me, I'm not letting it in because I don't think it exists. And I have this other, so I could, relax and start to let in and tell myself to be in the present moment. Be in the present moment here. Let's feel what's going on, and to receive what there is to receive, and know that I am protected, etc. So that's one of the things. The other thing I would again add, that I keep adding on everything, is take good care of yourself. I cannot emphasize this enough. And because the healthier you are going into anything, the healthier you will come out to it, the easier it will be. And there's a lot of stress now, and there's a lot of stress has happened. So we want to calm our nervous system. We want to remove as many stresses as possible. So I would say don't overschedule. Do minimal. And I slow things down, really slow things down. Do things that have meaning for you. And I'm just remembering, like dancing. So if you have energy moving through you, and say you're sad, and you like to dance or move, put on music or listen to music and dance the sadness. That helps to move it through really beautifully, and express the sadness. Or if you've got anger or frustration or rage, or act that out. Put on some good music that would get you drumming or pounding on your bed. Don't pound a wall or anything like that, but pound on your bed, or jumping up and down, like some African drum music or something. That will help move energy through you. And play different types of music for like about 5 minutes, and see and dance around whatever way you want to dance around. Put on, and you can also start out, like that, feeling depressed or feeling not enough, and the sadness that you did that, the remorse that you have about treating yourself that way, and thinking you weren't enough. And so start out that way, and then start putting on things that are higher level, until you're like, you're just shaking it and loving it, and like you come out like, woo. Your energy is shifted because you helped move that energy through. And so that's a really good way. Or go for a little run or a walk. But back to self-care. So anything to calm down your nervous system, really do as little drugs, drinking. And I say that because that actually, when you are drinking, like a drink here and there, one drink a day here and there is I'm not one to say it's fine. It's up to everybody. But when you drink more, it kind of gets you to go unconscious. It is poison, and it allows entities to come in. It allows dark, that your frontal brain kind of dims down, and so you don't have self-control. You don't have the one that makes good decisions, which is your frontal lobe. So you start putting yourself in vulnerable positions, start thinking things that aren't good. It's also a depressive. Also, smoking pot is not the greatest for you either. Again, I'm not judging. I'm just telling you, for your health and benefit, do some research on this stuff. Even though they made it legal, doesn't mean it's good for you. Just like sugar and color dyes, the chemicals and stuff, the Roundup stuff that they're putting in the food and spraying. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean it's good for you. You need to start being really discerning about what you're putting on your body, in your body, ingesting, and what's in your environment, and who's in your environment too. That's another thing. Is like, find people who you can be around that are uplifting and that you would uplift. Find that if you love to dance, start going to some dances. Start going where there's music and you can dance, or throw a dance party at your house. If you want to be around, start a book group, go hang out at the beach, surfing, whatever it is, hiking, what can you be in nature, playing tennis or golf, or, take a road trip, something like that. Animals, working with animals, all those things are really grounding. Grounding is huge. Grounding is one of the most important things. In fact, I'm going to take off my shoes so I can be grounding while I'm out here. The most important thing, like every day, wake up and ground. When you go to sleep at night, you take off. and some people believe that that's our real life, is where we go at the night. And then when we come back into our bodies and start our morning, is that this is our dreamland and our dream life. So when you are coming back in the morning, I've talked about this, make sure like I'm all in my body. I'm grounding my body. I'm pulling all my energy, my soul, my spirit into this body fully. Like, feel your feet, then imagine yourself hooking into the earth. Imagine your energy, filling the room that you're in and going out into source, into the quantum field, connecting with the trees around you, etc. or go stand outside immediately when you get up and take in the sun in the morning. That's perfect if you can do that for like 15 minutes. Have a cup of coffee out there or tea or whatever, or go out and take a walk and move. That's perfect. Those are wonderful things for you to do in the morning. Okay, so now let's talk about. So that's overview. I'm going to share what geomagnetic storms are, because you guys should know what this is and the possibilities too, that like these storms that we can get from the solar sun can be very dangerous. You know, some of those are the ones that cause extra flooding or cause, you know, horrendous amounts of lightning. When there's a geometric storm and those winds come in, and the CMEs and stuff, they cause a bunch of lightning that a lot of times we can't see, but it's all over the world. Wherever there's that electromagnetic, our electromagnetic field around the earth is thin right now, it's very thin. And so we're getting a lot more energy from the cosmos, from the sun, than we would normally when it's thicker. And so, and this is a you know, a pattern. It goes in and out, being thicker, thinner, thicker, thinner. Anyway, so we're getting this influx, more information, because information is coming in. The sun is sending us information, is sending us light, and this electromagnetic energy is affecting our physical body, is affecting all our cells, affecting the trees, the planets, everything around it, because we're all, number one, mainly water. And so this light and this electromagnetic field is transferred in the waters, in the ocean, in the rivers, in the I was just hearing this information today. It's fabulous. It's also in the water that we drink, and in the water that's in our body. So information is being transmuted through water. And so there's a lot of stuff. So let me explain and read, and I have my notes here, and I'll share as we go along. So a geometric storm is a major disturbance of Earth's magnetosphere that occurs when there is a very efficient exchange of energy from the solar wind into the space environment surrounding the Earth. These storms result from variations in the solar wind that produces major changes in the currents, plasma, and fields in the Earth's magnetosphere. This condition is effective for transferring energy from the solar wind into Earth's magnetosphere. The largest storm that result from these conditions are associated with solar coronal mass ejections, that's the CMEs, where 1 billion tons of plasma from the sun with its embedded magnetic field arrives at Earth. CMEs typically take several days to arrive at Earth, but have been observed for some of the most intense storms to arrive in as short as 18 hours. Another solar wind disturbance that creates conditions favorable to geometric storms is a high-speed solar wind. These geomagnetic storms that, while less intense than CME storms, often can deposit more energy in the Earth's magnetic sphere over a longer interval. So solar wind streams off the sun in all directions at speeds of about 1 million miles per hour. The source of solar wind is the sun's hot corona. The temperature of the corona is so high that the sun's gravity cannot hold on to it. These wind speed variations buffet the Earth's magnetic field and can produce storms in the Earth's magnetic field. You know, one of the references that I'm going to share with you, you can go in there and you can see, or two of them, you can see what the wind speed is. And a lot of times it's hanging around like 300 and something, but I've seen it as high as 900 and something when there's a strong wind one that comes in. Solar flares are a sudden explosion of energy caused by tangling, crossing, or reorganizing of magnetic field lines near sunspots. Solar flares are sometimes accompanied by a corolla mass ejection. CMEs are huge bubbles of radiation and particles from the sun. They explode into space at a very high speed when the sun's magnetic field lines suddenly reorganize. Solar flares and CMEs are the most powerful explosions in our solar system. All right, so now I want to just share what to expect from this. So, I didn't get the other, okay. Hang on. All right, here we go. So physically, electricity running through your body, feeling, I get like tingles in my head too sometimes, but you might feel like a revving. Sometimes my heart, in the very beginning, my heart would feel like it was electrical. Nervous system lights up, overwhelmed, wired and tired, exhausted, headaches, heart fluttering. I used to get, I would get anxious, all of a sudden anxiety out of nowhere. Well, that'll come up in the emotion stuff. Increased blood pressure. So this is like, watch, like I did get increased blood pressure. And so it was like, what's going on? And I couldn't think about what it was. And I had it for a while, and then it went away. Tinnitus also, I had that, and that comes and goes. I feel like when I'm getting a message, I get it, and then also when there's a lot of activity, I have it, and then it might go away for quite a while. But when there's a lot of activity, it's just like, it's there. I feel like I'm like a tuning fork. Heart fluttering, increased blood pressure, increased risk for heart patients for stroke, cardiac arrest, increased radiation risk for people at high altitude. Yeah, I had a friend at altitude and she could really feel it. Feel off balance, nausea, digestion problems, skin irritations, prickliness or like itching. And it's like, if it's, there's radiation, this is why it's a good idea to take your iodine, guys. I highly recommend iodine, and I'm going to do a show on the iodine. Breakouts, tingling, general malaise. The pineal gland in our brain is also influenced by electromagnetic activity, which causes the production of excess melatonin, a hormone that can cause drowsiness. So you can feel really tired, hot and cold sensations of electricity, and extreme environmental sensitivity. Sometimes when this is happening, like I have to get away from my phone and the computers, like I need to be in nature. It just feels like there's too much, and that's also like, I think there was a lot of stuff when my daughter got married in New York, and being in New York, oh my God, that was torture for me. I had keep finding trees to hug and plants and stuff like that keep grounding myself. It was like, whoo. Inner states can be in rapid resonance with the states of people around us as we energetically open also. So you become more empathic, feeling other people. So again, ask yourself, is this my energy or somebody else's? And then if it's somebody else's, just say, return to where you originated with ease and grace. How do you ask? Is this my energy or someone else's? When you ask that question, what will happen? So say I have some anxiety. All of a sudden anxiety comes up. And usually when it comes up super fast, well, anxiety does come up fast, but like there's nothing for you to be anxious of, and it's not a regular thing that you have. And you're around people, you're picking up on people. I'll give you an example. I was flying, and I went to get on the plane, and all of a sudden on the plane, I just got like anxiety, and I was like, holy crap, what's going on? And then I said, is this mine or somebody else's? And I got that it was somebody else's. And then I realized there was like 3 people on the plane that were like highly anxious about flying. And so I had to like clear. But, and so I just sent it back to them. So what you can do, again, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on about this. You ask the question, is this mine or somebody else's? Feeling what you're feeling. And if it lightens up, so it becomes lighter, it's not as strong, or might even disappear, it's somebody else's. So then you just say, okay, let this energy go back to where it originated with ease and grace. Or you can just give it to Source God. So just clear and then ground yourself into the ground, come into your body, breathe. You can ground by breathing, right? Getting in your body. And just say, reconfirming you're safe, you're fine. And then just think, some wonderful thoughts about where you're going or your destination or who you are. Okay. And this is, again, is why it's important to be healthy so you can make good decisions, get lots of sleep so it's not going to disturb you when you aren't sleeping. Like last week, there was 2 nights I had trouble falling asleep, and then I woke up, like 3 a.m, 2 days in a row, and then the next days I could sleep soundly. But so those won't throw you off if you're unhealthy and not sleeping a lot, and that's going to be really draining. It's going to be taxing on your system, on your hormones, on your stress levels. So let's just do everything that we can to keep stress levels down. Detox. It's a good time to do detoxes. Detoxing your liver, taking a detox bath like once a week, twice a week. Detoxing, just putting the intention of love in your water. When you're drinking water, having the intention, it's just like drinking it, knowing that the sun's light and energy is of the highest. They say water is the highest conscious thing on the planet. And so just knowing when you're drinking water, that you are drinking, beautiful consciousness that is going in and connecting with the water in your system and organs and cells with that higher consciousness. Just having that, it's very healing. So yeah, anything about, your body and taking good care of it. Okay, emotionally, irritated, frustrated, overwhelmed, full, no room for anything else, emotional roller coaster, depressed, anxiety, stressed, emotional weakness, insomnia, suicidal thoughts, feeling weak or hopeless, overstimulated, bipolar disorder, and other emotional disorders, profound influence on our consciousness, bringing out and healing our hidden emotions. Remember, as I was talking, like our emotions are coming out, and so that's what you're looking at. So this is like, woo, bringing it up. Every time there's a flare, it's like you can think about it as like Jupiter, it expands it. And just like if there's a storm, which we'll talk about, like if there's a storm happening and it's hitting in that area of the earth, it expands that storm, the ability of that storm to become more destructive or more empowered energy, more energy there. So whatever it's doing, it just has an influx of energy. So what I would say is first of all, having this knowledge and knowing, like I know when their solar flares are erupting, I don't get in fights. I don't create drama. I don't bring up hard topics because it'll just get blown out of the water. It gets expanded, right? Anything that is this is for me, you make your own choice, but I don't want to add to other people's or mine frustration or irritating. I feel irritated a lot. I feel like a lot of times I want to be alone when they're doing this. I want to go inward. I want to meditate, or I want to get out in the yard. I don't want to, or I want to play. It's like nature or play. I want to go have fun. I don't want to be in any intellectual thing. I don't want to be thinking. I don't want to be arguing. I don't want to I might not even be able to work because it might be that there's just, I'm not wanting to talk to you if I'm irritated, frustrated, angry, and these stuff. I just like do my inner work, dance around to move the energy, right? And what can we do to calm your nervous system down? What can we do to calm the stress levels down? And I know that there's a lot of you out there who can't calm it down. It's like everything is hitting the fan right now. Everything is like the perfect storm is erupting for a lot of you. I'm so sorry, but at the same time, I know that they're breakthroughs. And so if you can remember, like, this is happening for a reason. I'm going to get through this, and I will make choices. And there's a lot of learning here, and I am having breakdowns to have breakthroughs. I'm going to learn from this, and it will work out in my best favor. But I'm committed to taking good care of myself the best I can with what I'm doing and what I'm going through. And I would recommend, I think also what's happening, guys, in some ways is I think this is a way to create community, that because a lot of you are individually doing stuff, or just there's, a couple, or there's a few of you, but you're doing so much stuff online for a lot of you that you don't have like the immediate relationships around you or whatever. This is a time to ask for help. If you're going through something, you need emotional help, reach out. I'm here. Come talk to me. You can, I do free sessions. One free session, but you can ask for help. I have community that you can join and have community. If there's any other communities you're involved in, people next door to you, ask for help, because we're all going to end up helping each other anyway. So I think that that's one of the things that, again, they're having these breakdowns of this individualism to come together as a community, to start seeing each other again in ways that we used to interact and create together, versus this individual creation and division that is happening, and to see how we are so much more alike than we are different, no matter where we're born, no matter what our representatives are putting out there, that we really do care for each other as human beings. Okay, so that's that. Okay, mentally, distortions, confusion, apathy, erratic behavior, trouble concentrating or staying focused may shake you up to have more clarity, consciousness, and awareness. Yes, this is what's happening. So if you can, and you get, like, I've had days where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this the night before I get up, and I get up the next morning and it's like, nothing's happening right now. I understand it now. I feel it more, and I just know there's no way of fighting this. There's no way to push through this. It just is not going to work. And so I need to just take a break, and like, what is something that I am excited to do right now? So is it excited to stay in bed and read a book? Excited to stay in bed and meditate? Do I want to get up and go outside and, meditate outside? Do I want to go do some gardening? Do I want to go meet a friend for breakfast, for a coffee or a tea? A matcha. I like matchas. And then maybe after you've done that, now you feel you can move into the other thing. Or maybe not. It might take a whole day. You might need to come home after whatever you did, or whatever that next thing is take a nap, read a book. I find you have to start trusting in time, the timing of things. A lot of times when I know it's like, okay, I'm going to create this video, or I'm going to, I'm going to put something out, but it feels like it doesn't want, I trust in my intuition, my higher self, and it's like, no, a lot of times there's like something else I have to learn that's going to connect pieces to the puzzle that will like elevate what it is that I'm going to be putting out. Like I was talking to you about the water. So learning to trust in time is really important. So again, and just realizing, yeah, you could be like have distorted realities, because it depends again how strong this is. It depends on where you are. Are you just waking up? When you're just waking up, you might not be feeling the energies that much, except you might feel achy parts, or you're starting to feel the symptoms of ascension. So I have a video on symptoms of ascension that you can go and listen to, and explains all that. It's like weird, like, one day it's in your foot, one day there's pain in your opposite knee, and then your hip and your gut, and your eyes are doing weird stuff, and then you got tinnitus, so it's like this whole thing that can happen when you're first waking up. But it's also, you might not be as empathetic yet as some of the stuff so there's different levels of the awakening. I've broken it down into 3. And so when you're first waking up, you're not as enmeshed in it as what I call the second level, who's living the ascension. Like they're going through, they have some practices, the awareness, and they're more in their feelings. So they're doing the work of removing the limiting beliefs, and choosing new things in their life, and taking those, learning to trust their intuition, etc. So gratitude, ground yourself, compassion, empathy for others. So again, like what you're going through, so people might be irritated and cut you off, and just be angry, and just go, oh, if you follow, you can go, oh, I wonder if there's solar flares today. And you can go check the resource that I share, and you can start to see like, oh, okay, it's like a new moon, like a full moon used to be when I worked in restaurants in Lake Tahoe. It was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a crazy night, because people get crazy around the full moon. But it's the same thing, like these solar flares, different things happen. So you just know then okay, we're not going to cause any arguments. We're going to create some humor or playfulness around this. And different issues can be, worked with later. Choose the feeling of unconditional love over your fears. Take it easy when needed. Don't overschedule. Keep loving company. Declutter your spaces. So if you're irritated and your space is, I find one of the things is you can have the energy from this, and this probably be with those of you just waking up. When this energy comes in, and it might be a little frustrating, it's actually really good energy to clean and declutter, because that helps to move the energy, and you're moving and you're clearing things out. And so you don't want anything around you that is creating clutter, or are things that remind you of energetic things that are lower energy, that aren't uplifting to you. Anyway, that's a good thing to do. Okay, so spiritually, profound influence on our consciousness. So this light and these flares and stuff are waking us up. And like the water, I said the water is like one of the highest consciousness, holds the highest consciousness on the planet. And so with this, you are raising your conscious. When it's hitting your DNA, it's waking up some of your DNA that's been dormant. It's hitting cells. It's doing this. I don't know everything it's doing, but it's changing, and I'm a product of that, and a lot of other people are a product of that. And you are going through this too if you are sitting here and watching me right now. So bringing out and healing our hidden emotions. Again, that's all bringing this stuff, bringing those up. So we're not, because we're turning into more light plasma versus dense, heavy, traumatic, wounded energy. And so it's got to it's like a volcano that needs to erupt in order to get the energy out. And so it's erupting, so you'll pay attention and let it go. So it's like, make room, and shaking up, it's that there's a lot of shaking up. So unexplained sensation of restlessness, reality shifting, veil lifting, quantum free will revelations, DNA activations, shaking humanity up in order to evolve, greater psychic abilities and awakening. So all of a sudden, yeah, for a lot of you just waking up too, your psychic abilities will expand. And for those of you who are living it or in the third level of the creation and leadership, you know, your visions are getting stronger. Your energy is shifting, that you're moving things faster. Your psychic abilities are improving, and you're just becoming clearer and clearer as you move forward. Okay, so meditate, self-care, doing that. Meditate, ground yourself, time in nature, all the things that I said before. Again, falling in love with yourself. The whole thing with ascension is knowing that you are unconditional love, and that so is everybody else, even if they're in the dark. So it's like to stop the judging. Anyway, not going to get all into that. So the earth, what's happening on earth with all of this? Disrupts communication system, causes electricity shortages and power outages, blackouts, crazy and severe weather patterns, shaking humanity awake while revealing cosmic shifts, affects humanity collectively as it does individually. So knowing this could knock power out, could knock our computers out. It's, you know, can do a lot of different things. So I suggest that you prepare for power outages. What will you do if there's a power outage? So have some things, you know, for light, for batteries, or have solar. There's lanterns that have solar and batteries, and you can charge it. So have some chargers, you know, solar chargers around for your phones, etc. And so you can see in your home. Also, maybe you might have a generator. We don't know, you know, there is the idea that there'll be a big one of these that will take out a big electrical system, could shut down a lot of stuff, and maybe for a long time. And it's like satellite burnout. Anyway, I don't want to go into any doomsday stuff, but it's just like, be prepared. I would say have enough food for like a month. If you can't go to the store, I would have some cash on hand. If you can't, because if power goes out, you won't be able to get money out of your bank account. You won't be able to use the machine, right? Just think, all the machines that we count on will not work for as long as it's down, and that could be a long time. So just, you know, get stuff in order. How would you, and just also, how would you communicate with family and stuff? It's like those of you with electric cars, how are you going to get around? That you got to be thinking of that stuff. How would you cook? You know, so have a grill, stuff to grill with, or have the fuel. Or if you have gas in your house, then you know you can do that. Have a camping stove, tent, you know, how will you stay warm? Get to know your neighbors, know the people around you, so you have a community that you can support each other. Somebody's growing food, you know, etc. You can help to take care. Everybody's got special talents and gifts to help each other. And so that's, you know, that's a start. That's a start. And so I hope this was helpful. I will put all the resources down below. And again, lower your stress levels. Don't overschedule. Do the things you love, as well as the stuff that you need to. Fall in love with yourselves. Let go of the stuff that isn't necessary. And yeah, and then connect if you like, and start to get in touch with communities or people that you want to be around, and creating your own community if there isn't a community that you feel attracted to. And know that everybody's in their own place, but there are others out there like you. You are not alone, and reach out, and I am here, and there are others who love and honor you and bless you. And until we meet again, love, live, and matter. Take care, guys. Bye.